able to see every single one, but I usually have good luck to see a vast majority of them, so you're in good hands today. Our first destination is the Luluturi Forest, and this forest is a watering hole region where animals will come for water. And if you look to your right-hand side, we have an okapi right there. Now, by looking at their black and white stripe pattern on their legs, you may think that they're related to zebras, right? Well, no, actually. Their closest living relative is the giraffe, because they have the same skull structure as a giraffe, and they also have prehensile long tongues like a giraffe as well. And they use their tongues the same way a giraffe uses theirs, to reach for food and to use their own tongues to clean out their own eyes. Okapis are also very shy animals. They tend to be by themselves or in small groups, actually. Now, a lot of animals that live here in the Luluturi Forest like to use their natural colors for camouflage, making it very difficult to spot them sometimes. However, as I'm pulling up on this hill here, if you look to your left-hand side on top of that hill over there, we have some bongos, and their horns are leaned backwards to help them move through thick vegetation without getting stuck, and they can reach lengths of about 32 to 36 inches as they're in their horns. And the pale gray animals in that opening valley there, those are actually the greater kudus, and those are females because the females do not have horns, only the males will have horns, and the males' horns can grow up to 6 feet tall, actually. We are now heading down this hill and going towards the Safi River, which you can actually see on your right-hand side, and it appears we're in luck because there's actually a hippo out on land right now on our right in the corner. Since it's a cool temperature day today, hippos will actually be on the land at times, and usually when it's hot, they actually stay in the water to stay cool since they don't have sweat glands. At that point, the most likely time you'll see a hippo on land is at nighttime, because that's when they'll go out to get some food after being submerged in water all day. To our left-hand side, we have a flock of pink-backed pelicans scattered across the land, and I know what you're thinking, why do they have that name and yet their color is gray? Well, actually, the skin on their backs will start to turn pink during mating season, actually, and hence the name. They also like to nest near quiet, tranquil waters like the Safi River here, and their wingspan's about 5 to 7 feet long, actually. One hippo in the water over there as well, and hippos can actually hold their breath underwater for a total of 5 to 8 minutes. Down below us we have some Nile crocodiles, and they are the largest species of crocodilians in Africa, reaching heights of about 16 feet tall, weighing 500 pounds each, and weighing 250 pounds. Now there's actually 2 ways that you can tell crocodiles apart from alligators. One is that when their mouths are closed, crocodiles have more teeth sticking out than alligators do. And secondly are their head shapes. Crocodiles are shaped like the letter V, whereas alligators are shaped like the letter U. Now you may notice that up ahead that the environment is starting to change. That's because we're leaving the Safi River and we're going out towards the open savanna right now. In fact, as I'm turning, if you look to your right, we have a baobab tree, and they are very common and native down here in the savanna. And they will remain leafless for about 9 months out of the whole year in order to conserve water. This is due to the limited amount of rainfall that comes down here in the savanna. And because of that, the need to conserve as much water as possible to survive. You'll find that most of the plants have come up with their own ways and mechanisms to conserve water and survive in the savanna. Looks like right now most of the animals have migrated to the other side, so we're gonna have to travel up ahead to see if we can find some. Which shouldn't be too long, actually. If you look to your left-hand side, we actually have a pack of African wild dogs on this hill here. And they're also called painted dogs because if you look closely at their fur pattern, it looks like paint splatter. And they are actually the most deadliest hunters out here in the savannah. They will hunt as a pack and continuously pursue their prey until their prey collapses from exhaustion. And what makes them quite different from other members of the canine family is that they only have 4 toes on each paw and they communicate through chirps actually. They actually don't bark or howl. Also to our left, we have some sable antelope out there in the field, and they have 2 uses for their horns: to display dominance during courtship and to defend themselves against predators. And there is actually a way to tell the males apart from the females, and that's by the color of their coats. The darker it is, the more mature they are in age. And the darker coats actually belong to the males, actually. We have some termite mounds around us, and these mounds can be as hard as concrete, and they're just made out of 3 components from nature, which includes red clay, saliva, and animal dung. And these mounds, lots of big animals use them as a scratching post, actually. Truly is beautiful out here, folks, with the way everything is shaped around here, almost painting-like, but we actually don't trim any plants here, since the animals will take care of that work for us, since they do eat the plants as part of their diet. To our right-hand side, we have a dazzle of zebras spread out across the land, and that's what you call a herd of zebras, a dazzle. Now, zebras actually don't neigh or whinny like horses. They actually communicate through a barking sound, actually. And they're non-territorial animals, so they don't mind sharing land. They use that to their advantage to blend themselves in. They can reach about 5 feet tall in length, and whenever baby zebras are born, they can stand and move within 20 minutes after birth. Up ahead, through the tall grass, we have some Nkoli cattle, and they are actually one of the few domesticated animals out here in Africa. And there's 2 more up ahead, closer, as well. Those small cinnamon-colored animals on the hill are the springboks. They are the 3rd fastest land animals in the world, reaching a top speed of 50 miles per hour, and they are the national animal of South Africa. And we have the white-bearded wildebeest on top of that hill. They can migrate a total of 800 to 1,000 miles a year. And baby wildebeest can stand and move within 15 minutes after birth. And here we have a close-ups of the Nkoli cattle, more closer. And their horns can grow up to 3 to 4 feet long, and inside is a hollow honeycomb structure which will allow blood flow to circulate through their horns, cooling down their body temperature by 15 degrees, making them adaptable to heat and humidity. And to our left-hand side, we actually have a tower of giraffes, folks. That's what you call a herd of giraffes. And these giraffes in particular are the Maasai giraffes, because if you look closely at their spots, they are wavy on the outlines and they're not symmetrical with one another. In fact, similar to a zebra stripe pattern and our own fingerprints, they have unique characteristics that make them different, so not all look alike. Baby giraffes can actually be born at a height of 6 feet tall, and they can actually start standing and moving within 1 hour after birth, which is much longer than the zebras or wildebeest need to do. To our right hand side, we actually have an African elephant right there, and well, right now his bottom is facing towards us, but there's another opening up ahead where I'm going to try to get you guys a side view at least. That way you can have a good picture. Now this elephant happens to be a male because anytime you see an elephant by themselves in the wild, those are the males because they will sometimes separate from the herds to be by themselves. But despite that, however, elephants are very social animals and they won't stay alone for long. They'll actually rejoin the herds, or sometimes they actually want to be around other male elephants and they'll create their own herd called a bachelor actually. And it looks like we caught this one during his lunchtime actually, in which elephants can consume as much as 300 pounds of food a day. Now, interesting fact about this bridge right here, sometimes elephants are known to walk underneath this bridge and pass right through it. Very rare to see that happen, actually. And while we're on that subject, now that we're reaching the other side, we might get to see some more elephants because we are now traveling towards elephant territory, our next destination. In fact, one good sign that indicates that this is mapped as elephant territory are these red clay cliffs because one, this bridge that we're going underneath, it actually connects where we saw that elephant before towards elephant territory. And secondly, if you look to the right, you can see that the walls are all scratched up. Those are caused by elephants, actually. They use their feet and tusks to break apart the red clay so they can easily consume it. Traveling to look for more animals, we do have some more baobab trees on our left and right hand side, and these trees can live to be over 1,000 years old, and a nickname for them is the tree of life because they store several gallons of water inside, and lots of animals come to these trees to get access to the water stored inside. Now, if you look to your left as I'm turning, we actually have a flamboyant of greater flamingos, the lightest color of flamingos out of all the flamingo species in the world. And a flamboyant is what you actually call a group of flamingos, actually. In fact, there's another view of the springboks much more clearly visible on your right-hand side in case you folks are interested. And springboks can also jump 6 feet in the air and spring forward 18 feet across. And their image has been used as mascots for many of your favorite sports teams as well. Oh, an interesting fact about this island the flamingos are around or on top of, that is actually a hidden Mickey right there, folks. And it's not because of that Mickey Mouse pumpkin. The island itself is shaped like a hidden Mickey actually as well. We are now traveling into the west end of the savannah, and this is actually my favorite location on the reserve because this is actually where all the big cats are located, like cheetahs and lions. And it looks like we had some recent activity by these mud pits. Must be from rhinos because white rhinos are also found around here. In fact, there's actually a couple of them. One of them is resting right in between that valley over there. We'll wait right here while that truck is stopped up there for a minute. And I can tell those are white rhinos in particular because they are larger in size and they have a broad square-shaped mouth. Rhinos can reach a top running and charging speed of 35 miles per hour, and they have an excellent sense of smell too. And if you look to our left-hand side, we actually have 2 cheetahs, actually 3 resting together on the hillside on our left. And cheetahs are the fastest land animals in the world, And if you look closely at their faces, there are actually tear marks around their eyes. Those are not scars, by the way. Those are tears are part of their bodies, and they actually use those tears to block out glares in the sunlight, giving them excellent vision. In fact, their speed combined with their vision makes them excellent hunters in their own right. And that's one way that they are different from most other big cats in the wild, because mostly big cats rely on their strength to actually catch their prey, so cheetahs can actually be overpowered by other big cats like lions, actually. But cheetahs do have one ability that other big cats like lions do not, and that is the ability to purr like regular cats. In fact, while we're on the subject of upper types of big cats, we do have the Kopi Rocks up ahead to our left, and this is a vantage point where lions come to actually look for prey. Hopefully we can find some lions, because in this case, lions are typically inactive most of the day. They spend about 18 to 20 hours of the day resting, and they're primarily active at night because that's the time where they like to go out and do most of their hunting. Plus, their night vision is much sharper than other animals, and yet they can still see well in the daylight. While we're waiting right here, if you look to your right-hand side, we have some scimitar horned orcs over there. Those are the white animals with curved horns. And they are not only found here in Africa, they're also found in desert regions as well. In fact, their hooves are specially designed to not sink in sand, and they could go about 9 months without water, actually, in case water is scarce. Oh, and it looks like we will get to see some lions, because there's a female lion and there's a male lion resting in the corners right here. Now, when it comes to a pride of lions, they have each equal different responsibilities, females and males. The females are the ones that will do most of the hunting. In fact, they are the most cooperative hunters out here in the savannah, while the male lion's responsibilities is to stay at home and defend their territory and protect the lion cubs from danger. And a lion's roar can actually be heard from a total of 5 miles away. And the main reason they roar is to locate each other so that nobody is lost or left behind. To our left, we have some warthogs here, and warthogs are one of the largest burrowing animals in the world, and they are in fact related to domesticated pigs. And they actually dig their burrows using their hooves and their tusks as well, but they also use their tusks for defense as well. Those tusks happen to be razor sharp as well. And from this angle right here, we can see Bontabogs, some more white rhinos, and the water bucks and the scimitar orcs all in one sitting right here. So this is perfect for some photo pictures, folks. Water bucks, as their name applies, and the water bucks right by the rhinos. They like to stay near water regions, as their name applies, and because of that, they don't migrate a lot of miles. But since it's a cool day today, they're more than willing to travel right now. And there's a nest of ostrich eggs on the ground as well, so there might be some ostriches present here, actually. Ah, yes, there's one actually coming straight towards us, and looks like the truck's moving, so in front of us is moving, so we can actually cross. Now, ostriches are the largest and heaviest species of birds in the world. And it looks like this one has decided to cross our path right now. All animals have the right of way. And it looks like all 3 of them are crossing. Let me just call this in. Reserve Warren, this is Safari 7. Hi, I have 3 ostriches that were in my pathway, but it looks like they moved out of the way, so we're going to continue moving. Now, if you look closely at the ostrich's feet, you may notice that there is a sharp claw at the end of their big toe. They actually use that, combined with their powerful kicks, to defend themselves, actually. In fact, getting kicked by an ostrich is very fatal to both predators and humans as well. And they will kick when they feel threatened, actually. And ostriches are flightless birds, so they cannot fly, but they will use their wings for a purpose, and that is to steer and change directions while running. And they can reach a top running speed of 40 miles per hour. We are now traveling through the Magadi Glen, and this is a shady area of the savannah where animals will come for shade and water. And I see you're checking out the left-hand side of the hill here. Even on reserves like these, sometimes some land maintenance is required to help benefit the animals that live here. This one happens to be one of our special projects that we're working on to help benefit the animals that live here. By traveling through this gate here, we are actually leaving the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, and we are making our way back to the village of Harambe as we speak. And I gotta say, folks, today's safari was pretty amazing. We actually got to see both of the big cats and the hard-to-see animals, such as the water bucks and the scimitar horned oryx as well. In fact, we only missed the black rhinos and the Patterson's eland, so we actually got to see about 90% of the animals out here today. We were very close to 100%. With that being said, who actually got to see their favorite animals today? I know I did. Got some head nods? Excellent. Makes me happy to make some people's days today. And if you love what you saw here today, folks, and are inspired to see more, I would highly recommend that you guys go check out the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. Down this trail, you can actually find gorillas, monkeys, meerkats, birds, naked mole rats, and tarantulas. And if any of you folks are wilderness explorers, you can actually collect some exclusive badges down there too.